Hi everyone, it's Monica, and welcome back to TaylorMade Cards for You. Well, it seems like the big rage recently has been these artist trading coins, and I've been watching a few videos, and I got an idea from one of the videos that I was watching on how to use some of my really small paper dolls from my Tim Holtz collection. Now, I want to apologize up front here. I am just getting over a cold, so I apologize for my voice. I know I sound a little muffled. But I'm going to go ahead and do as much narration as I can, and then I probably will be doing just some music overlays so you don't have to listen to my stuffed up nose here. But I wanted to share with you the idea that I had from one of the videos that I was watching on how to use these really small paper dolls. And while these, of course, have been demonstrated as being artist trading cards and you can put, information on the back, I thought they would be cute to add in my passport books. And I also have an idea on how to use some of these for cards as well that I might share with you in a future video. But first, let me go ahead and show you how I created these little coins and hopefully give you some ideas for your backgrounds and some of your artistic trading coins. Now, because I was going to be creating a background and then cutting some of the small coins out, I wanted to create a really nice grungy background, and I had these metallic paints that I picked up at Tuesday morning, I think. And then I also wanted to use some green, which was my distress paint, and then some spray from Tattered Angels. I also had an idea on how to use some of my embossing folders for some texture. So let's go ahead and get started. So this technique is really, really easy. You're going to start out with a larger piece of paper and then just add some paint. And then what you're going to be using is another piece of paper or some chipboard to create the grunge. So the first layer is just something that I just painted on. I just wanted to start out with a piece of paper that wasn't quite all white. I'm going to be using a technique where I'm going to be lifting paint off of one texture board and then adding it to my paper. So I didn't want to necessarily start out with just a white piece of paper. Now, because this technique is pretty self-explanatory, I'm going to go ahead and turn on some background music while I create my background, and then I'll be back in just a little bit when I start to use my embossing folder. Now, I'm sure many of you cringed when I started to add that paint to my embossing folder, but I wanted to show you that it cleans up really easily. You just want to make sure that your paint doesn't dry on your embossing folder, because then the cleanup might be a little bit more difficult. But what I'm using is some of the grooves and texture on my embossing folders to create some more interest on my background. And I wanted to find patterns that were a little bit bigger. So if you do have some embossing folders, you don't want to go for the detail. You want to go for some of the patterns that are a little bit bigger and will show up on your background. And as you can see, just take some soap and water to your embossing folders once you are finished using them, and they'll clean right up for you. Now, the piece of chipboard that I've been using to transfer my paint is going to be used for another project, so don't throw that away. And if you did end up using just another piece of paper, that is a background ready to be layered on. So don't throw that away either. Remember, when you're creating a grungy background, it doesn't have to be perfect. You're going for imperfection. So embrace it and just continue to create, because once you cut these up into little discs, you're not going to be able to see some of these larger details. They're just going to be small fragments. And you'll see what I mean when I share with you my circles. Now, in the video that I watched, the person used a circle punch, but I didn't have a circle punch that was quite large enough, so I ended up having to use my circle die cuts. But either will work perfectly. If you have circle punches or die cuts, of course they work just the same. And I am using my tonic guillotine cutter to cut out my strips so I can run it through my Big Shot. Now, many of the comments that I see on some of my videos are just, they're so fun and they're so cute. And many of you say you just can't imagine creating some of these grungy cards. But embrace the imperfection, everyone. I mean, just go for it. One of the reasons I love creating these grungy backgrounds is it doesn't have to be perfect. And even though I may make a mistake, the finished project never shows through my mistakes. It just looks like that was something intentional. So that's why I love grunge. I don't necessarily think that I'm perfect at it. I just like it because I am not perfect. And when I create these grungy backgrounds, it enables me to create these interesting cards with some imperfection. So embrace it, everyone. Go for it. Don't tell me that you can't do it. That's why I'm sharing some of my videos, to show you how easy it is to do it, and you can really create some awesome results. So I'm going to turn on the music again while I continue to create my little disc, artistic trading circles, and then I'll be back at the end to close off the video. So as you can see, those little paper dolls work perfectly on my circles, and they're going to make really cute little additions to cards or some of my junk journals or even my passport books. They're just another piece of ephemera I can have in my stash to add to some of my projects. So as always, I will leave a list of all the products that I've used to create these little coins. If you've enjoyed the video, I would sure appreciate a thumbs up, and feel free to share it. I am about 200 subscribers short of being to 3,000, and when I hit 3,000, I'm going to definitely have to do something special. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, don't forget to hit that subscribe button before you head out, and hit that little bell as well, because every time I put a new video out, you'll be notified. All right, everybody, I hope you all have a great day, and hopefully the next time I come back with a video, I will be past this cold. Thanks so much for stopping by, and we'll see you again next time.